Alright folks, well as usual, thank you very much for watching my video. Today we're going to do a little review on the French backpack model 1854 that was used in the Crimean War when they were in Indochina, which is now Vietnam, and of course in Mexico and the Franco-Prussian War. These actually were also sold to the United States, I believe the Union, during the American Civil War, as well as this 1845 model ammunition pouch. And so both of these were used in the American Civil War. However, I did see these, the ones I see on repro of these ones for that Civil War are in that sort of like that canvas oiled, waterproofed style. So I don't know if the Americans actually used this one in with fur. Those of you who do Civil War, you can probably tell me, correct me on that one. But there was another one that was very similar to this one. That was the model 1867-68. I don't know if that one was used during the Franco-Prussian War though. But in any case, I know this one was. And up here we have the, what is it, the 1842 or the 1852 model mess kit, or the gamelle. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Now normally, of course, as many of you know, none of this changed all that much for the French up until after like World War II. They would always carry their equipment at an angle, and at different times they had different things strapped to the top here, which of course this canteen or this mess kit would then be sitting up on top. Different time periods, so I really didn't have anything to put in there to demonstrate except for a blanket and a tent, so I didn't do that. But anyway, this is the mess that they would have to just to take off the mess kit down here. Some of this is some of the style was retained for World War I, but there are some differences in the World War I, which is the example I just showed you to the right of this one. Whew, look at all that. And then of course out the back, and it's got this carrying handle. Now one of the big differences is of course that this was in a V style, whereas the World War I, which I'll show you in a minute, had two separate shoulder strap pieces. This is pretty much the same. These here are the same, except that for the French, for those of you who do know, they would curl their excess strap, and we're going to show you one big difference in that one. So the bottom pretty much does look the same. Okay, it does pretty much look the same. So, but on one side, you definitely see that this one has this little funky door here, and we can open that up, and inside here you see like a little extra compartment that goes all the way through, and you would actually store separate ammunition there, or extra ammo. Now this part here is different, somewhat different than the World War I, because this one is actually attached from the outside as opposed to coming in from the actual part, and I'll show you that in a minute, from the seam there. So we have this here that goes inside, we'll show you that in a minute, and on the other side as well. And like I said, we'll show the comparison. Now, as I mentioned earlier, normally, for those of you who know the World War I stuff, you would curl the excess strap. But in this case, you actually brought it down the back. And you could loop it through the second piece here, which also helped to secure this extra piece of leather. So we're going to take that out and take this out, and we're going to open up the pack. Now normally for France you would find these as Havresacs, not Havresac, but Havresac, ends with a C, not a CK. And if you look up specifically google.fr 1854 Havresac, you'll see pictures of this, really good clear pictures of this. So that's what I went by for. I built this many years ago. And so here we go. So again, they have this slit here which you can open up, which is you can put some stuff inside of it. Then you've got this part here that keeps this in check, which is very World War One-ish, or model 1893. Okay, so we're gonna open this up. There we go. Now one big difference is, of course, from the World War One is that this has this funky sort of P, backwards P on this side. And again, we'll show you the 93 model in a minute. But it's actually sewn here, so it doesn't actually open up all the way. And there's that second floor, and you've got this strap just to keep this these sort of shoulders in check here. Okay. Now, when it comes to the shoulder straps, as you can see, for some reason they had this funky little design, and I have seen paintings and drawings of that. And of course, this is the regular shoulder strap as you see here, but this one here has an extra piece that would actually not hook up to the ammunition pouches, but to actually to the cartridge, to the belt itself. The belt would have a sort of like a keeper, metal, brass actually, and it had two sections, one that had the belt and then an extra piece, an extra section that had a little hole through it, and you would actually loop this through it, because this is not the World War One. The World War One is a little bit more curly, and so this is actually different. And again, I got these from the Civil War settlers, because this is the same thing that they were wearing. You'll see these on eBay, original ones from Civil War, and that they're exactly the same thing. So this is the model 1854 Havresac French, and as I mentioned, this was the 1845 pouch. Okay, I'm sure many of you have seen these before somewhere. And this is the 1893 model. Mine was at one point a movie prop, so it's got this horrible box. It's not exactly correct, but as you can see, it doesn't have that P, and it opens up this way also. It's quite a bit different. This strap here, and now you have on the bottom, it looks pretty much the same. I think these are a little bit wider, but then again, I made mine out of just pictures and drawings and such, so you know, I could have probably made mine a little bit bigger, but it looks really good. And of course, the big top part, which is really different, which is now two separate sections, and you've got this middle piece here that helps to loop. And this part here is now on the bottom, where you run the strap through it, and your gamel is sitting up here, as opposed to, you know, this part here, this leather, this keeper. Now the keeper looks like it's at the bottom of the backpack, or the Havresac. In any case, it looks pretty. Obviously, these are quite unique. They look like the Japanese one. If you haven't seen my Japanese backpack video, you should probably check that one out if you like backpacks. And of course, here's the slit. But in any case, I just wanted to really show you the model 1854 backpack. If you guys are looking for any dimensions on how to make them, I don't know. I've seen pictures of these originals on again, Google France, in the oiled canvas, or the water resistant materialed canvas in this, but in this model, those pictures say it's 1872, 1870 something. So I'm not exactly sure when they got rid of these, because I did start seeing something similar to that in a model 1880, 1882. So they started changing somewhere around that time period, and I don't know what the heck happened to that 1867 to 1868 model. But in any case, folks, I hope that you liked this video, and if you have any questions, let me know. I made all this, like I said, many years ago. Most of it I did it by hand, which is a real pain in the butt. Now that I've got a nice sewing machines, 2 of them. If I ever decided to kill myself, and if I really decided I hated myself, I'd do another one. And anyway, I hope you liked my video, and I will see you at another time.